Hi and welcome back to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝗧. Today guys, we're going to be taking another look here at XRP to see what's been going on most recently with the price action of this particular project. So as we get into this, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝗧. Right, with all that said, done and out of the way, let's take a look here at XRP and see what's going on. Obviously it's a very messy chart, right? Because, you know, I'm actively analyzing the market. I'm not just, you know, drawing a few lines on the chart and for a video or anything like that. I'm keeping a very tight eye on what is going on here with XRP. But, you know, I appreciate it's hard to read, so I'm going to delete it all for you guys. And we're going to start again, and you'll be able to kind of hopefully follow along a little bit clearer. So obviously we've had a pretty interesting kind of move. This here is a fantastic break to the upside, and this actually happened when judge in the Ripple and SEC lawsuit actually dismissed the SEC's motion to, actually denied the SEC's motion to dismiss the fair notice defense, and we saw a really good push right here, which is great. I was hoping it was actually going to go up further and all that kind of good stuff. Instead, we actually saw corrective action straight away. Now, that's not overly too bad, because you know, you need to see some kind of, I guess, corrections to happen. And as a result of that, you know, profits were taken. Now, obviously, if you're buying the top, you got stung because you're probably thinking it was going to the moon. That was it, you know, etc. It was one fantastic thing that happened in the case. There's many more still to come, and you're going to probably see a lot more events like this. So if you did buy here, don't worry about it too much. Personally, it's still an incredibly good price in my opinion, because I do think them pretty good things are going to happen longer term. So obviously we started to see pullback down, nothing unusual here with the ABC move. So I will just plot this up so you understand the history here a little bit. So we had the ABC down, okay, after what was a pretty, you know, explosive ABC move upwards. You'd argue that it's impulsive, but I'd have to go down to real small time frames to see if it was impulsive or not. But we had a good move up. Then we had the standard move down, and we actually fell down a little bit lower afterwards. And again, these are just really corrective moves. I'm not going to draw them all up, but there's a corrective move up, corrective move down, corrective move up, and a corrective move down. So essentially, you know, to save time, we'll just call that the C wave. Essentially, it's the same thing. Then, of course, we move on up. We have, again, a pretty clear move here. From the low point here to here, okay, that becomes an A wave. We have the B wave come down, and then we have that C wave just reach the top here. And this is actually then followed up by an additional small corrective move down. And that corrective move down there essentially takes us back into the oversold area, okay? And once we're in this oversold area, we can then see this really good run upwards, and this is where we want to then focus in on, okay? So what's been going on recently with XRP. Now, inside here, there's actually a really interesting kind of move, because this was an impulsive move for many cryptocurrencies, with not for XRP. For XRP, it was actually just an ABC move. It overextended. It hit past the 1.236 of the A wave, but not enough to be classed as an impulsive move. Okay, so many other cryptocurrencies were impulsive, but XRP was not. Now, this is actually pretty easy to understand when we consider everything that the SEC have done, or I guess what the SEC have done in terms of suing Ripple, and the cause and effect that has had, right? Lots of exchanges delisting XRP. As a result of that, you don't get the same kind of level of impulsive moves, right? We've been significantly hindered in this particular bull cycle, 2021 and 2022 as it continues, significantly underperforming other assets, right? And it's notable, and I've spoken about this before on the channel. So, you know, really disappointing to see, but obviously it is what it is at this point in time. I think XRP's time is going to come, and it will be very explosive when it happens. Now here, there's actually a really tight correction right inside here. These two candles basically are wiping things out, but it isn't moving as fast as you would like it to. Okay, there's background data here, and that is really important that we understand. Okay, because I have been talking about corrections, right? And we aren't quite there yet, but it's coming, in my opinion. Okay, but not yet, and I'm going to show you why. So the first things are, we have this really tight correction here, okay, pulled us down, but we didn't really lower the stochastic RSI much. Then we started to get reversal, okay, and there was basically reversal on very little volume coming in. And what's interesting about this is we're still lowering the stochastic RSI. We're lowering the momentum of the price movement up, okay? We're pushing up, but we're lowering the stochastic RSI, which is actually good. It's good, okay, because we want the stochastic RSI to come down, okay, and we ideally want to do as minimal amount of price damage as possible. In this particular case, the stochastic RSI goes from overbought to oversold, and we actually go up in value, okay, so it's an ideal situation to be in, okay. However, we get to the top here and we pull back down, and we actually are just a little bit higher than the C wave correction that we had this side, okay, which means we're experiencing extreme volatility. Okay, we're moving up, we're moving down, and it's kind of irrational to a point. And the good news is, though, that we are stabilizing, and we've stabilized now into an area just about here, and I'm going to highlight it with this box, and I'm going to turn that yellow so it's easy to see, right here. Now, this area is indicating some really important information to us. It's indicating that we are in an area of buying. There's a lot of buying pressure right here. You can see all these wicks, and we haven't closed inside this box, which means basically every time the XRP prices comes into this box, it gets bought up, and we're closing outside of it. So this is really important. It's important not only because this is an area of buying, okay, if we go in here, we should probably buy, right? And we're oversold, right? So really interesting kind of stuff. Now, this area comes in at 81.2 down to the low point of 80.7, okay? So there's a bit of a range in there that we might want to consider some kind of opportunity. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't offer you financial advice, but maybe something that you might want to look at, draw your own conclusions, etc. Now, inside here, again, you have the ABC up, you have the ABC down, you have from here A, B, C up, and we are tracking ABC down, ABC. So it's basically just very, very choppy. There's nothing definitive other than just corrective choppy moves waiting for some kind of break. Okay, so on this hourly chart, we're actually in a pretty good spot. We should be expecting some kind of push upwards. With a stochastic RSI that's oversold, we should be thinking upward movements. Now, in terms of prices that we might be thinking about, there's potential to kind of come back up into this range here, maybe about 82 or so. Really hard to say because we haven't got a definitive wave count. Or potentially even pushing up towards 84, finding resistance there, or maybe even at 84.9. So it's a couple of things to kind of watch out for. If we were to enter in somewhere down here, for example, and we were to ride it up to there, you're not talking huge amounts of percentages. So risk tolerance and all that kind of stuff is something that we should be cautious over on any small-term trades, etc. Now, on the 4-hourly chart, we're bringing the stochastic RSI down. Okay, so this is potentially going to tell us a couple of really interesting things. One, that we're probably going to get a bounce up, but may not actually come higher than this point, okay, and then come back down lower. Okay, the reason for this is quite simple. It would be a larger a potential B wave bounce up here, and then a C wave that comes down lower. Okay, some kind of corrective move that basically sees us maybe come down towards 80 cents or so. Okay, that would allow that stochastic RSI to also correct. Okay, so we don't know just yet, but that's kind of one theory that could play out here on the 4-hourly chart. The 8-hourly chart is in a very similar situation. We're overbought. We need to see corrections. Okay, so again, we might find ourselves with a bounce, and then that pullback on the, like I said, on the 4-hourly that corrects the 8-hourly chart as well. Okay, just keep that in mind. The daily chart, also overbought, so we should be thinking corrective moves. And again, we don't know what that looks like just yet, but we can, of course, acknowledge that XRP has, for the last little while here, actually been moving up quite nicely. We could technically argue that we are, right about here. So if I were to draw this up, for example, this low point, this being an A wave, this being a B wave down lower, that being a C wave completing the move. A little bit shallow, actually, to be fair. So, we've got a couple of options. Let me just check it to make sure that we are being fair across the board here. So this actually was a 786 rejection. Okay, so getting rejected from that 786 and pull back down. This could be a move that is slightly different in its nature. So let me grab this way around. So it could be that we are on track for, yeah, it might work. Okay, cool. So we could have, this is an A wave, this is a B wave, and then we continue up and get to 90 cent. Like, you know, this would be consistent with these two ranges, as in this C wave also should be up there anyway, right? So that's a possibility, but I don't think the stochastic RSI is going to allow for that just yet. Not unless, of course, we have some kind of corrective action that allows for a kind of mid pullback here and then a continuation to the growth to the upside. So just be a little bit cautious on that. There's a couple of options in there. And you know, it's really up for you guys to kind of decide which one that's going to be, because we could also be looking at it like this and we pull back down, right, as I said, right? So I'm expecting more of a corrective move just because the stochastic RSI and the momentum behind the prices, specifically this weekly one, the daily one as well, they're very high. So it's more than likely that we pull back before we push up. So fantastic opportunities either for short-term trading or for accumulation, I think, are probable in the next kind of couple of weeks or so. But timing is always the hardest thing to gauge. Right now, we should be expecting some kind of push upwards, some kind of small bounce. If we do push higher than this area of 82.6, then that's going to be great. That means that, you know, potentially still tracking upwards first. And as I said, 90 cent is still technically possible on some of those larger time frames. So we'll be watching that quite cautiously. But it probably is a little bit too high risk for my personal trading habits, so I'd probably avoid that myself. But from an accumulation point of view, I think there might be some fantastic opportunities in the very near future. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.